like typically the teams who do things in the playoffs that you don't expect to do stuff are the teams that are able to play great defense, are able to run the football. And we'll talk about that second part in a second. And I know the Broncos didn't play great defense last night. I know that. But in a one-off format, if they can get to the playoffs, which they now have a 77% likelihood, the Denver Broncos can absolutely win a game. And I'm thinking of a team like the New York Giants under Tom Coughlin, who backed into the playoffs, a wild card team who goes on to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Broncos are going to go win the Super Bowl.
But you're not saying they can't?
I'm not saying they can't. And again, I don't believe that's going to happen. But this league...
Well, maybe we should pump the brakes from even that and saying we don't believe it's going to happen.
Do you believe the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I'm not going to say I don't, or I'm not going to say I do, but I know that it's different once you get to the dance because, like you said, it's a one-off game. All it takes is for that defense, Nick Bonito, to get an interception, or J-Mac to get an interception, and it turns the game around. Or Bo Nix goes for 300 yards, or we finally do get a run game going. You know, all it takes is for something freakish to happen, and you win that game.
It's football.
It's football.
Freaky stuff happens all the time.
Freaky football.
We just talked about, so let's just touch on it. It was another game where the starting running back for the Denver Broncos, Javonte Williams, looks like a complete shell of himself.
Yeah.
He looks like a mostly broken running back. I know it's not all on him. There's context to this stuff.
No, Zach,
I mean, something's got to change here.
Something has to give. All right, Javonte has had his time, and Javonte is not producing. And I know that you need an offensive line to open some holes for you. But the reason why you are in the NFL is because you can make nothing into something. Whether it's breaking a tackle, stiff arming, spin move, you know, just being explosive. It can't always just be on the offensive line opening up a big hole for you just to run through.
Right.
And so for Javonte, the juice is just not there.
It's not.
The juice is just not there. The confidence is just not there. And when you know Javonte's in the game, you know he's not breaking a long run. You know he's not bringing that explosiveness with him. And so he's just in there. Now, I understand why he's in there. Sean trusts him. And it's about picking up blocks for Bo Nix because Sean wants to pass the ball, and Sean does not trust Estime right now as a rookie running back, and he definitely doesn't trust Jalil because of his stature, right, his size right now.
Yeah.
And so he's trusting Javonte to do the blocking because Javonte does a great job of blocking. I view and picture Javonte right now, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Javonte, but what it looks like to me is Javonte looks like a fullback. Javonte looks like that big old-school fullback that you can hand the ball off to, maybe get a couple dirty yards, and he does a great job of blocking. But when it comes to running the football and being explosive, that's not Javonte. That's Jalil. That's Estime. And I don't know why we didn't give Estime more run, right, more burn, more opportunities to touch the football, and why we did not continue to, hand the ball off to Jalil, who was hot. Jalil ended up with 14 carries. Why wasn't that 16 or 17 when to me it's like this, Zach, when the run's working, stick with the run. And Sean didn't do a good job at times of sticking with the run. He was so pass happy and ready to throw the ball that he kind of messed himself up in the red zone. Run the ball sometimes. It's okay to run the ball more than 1 or 2 times, right? I want to see him run it once, twice, 3 times. Get a first down just running the football if you can do that. Don't go away from the run game just because you have Bo Nix.
Yeah, and look, I don't think like some grand declaration needs to be made that Javonte's no longer the starting running back. It's just kind of taking care of itself.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question. And I don't want to minimize pass blocking because I know it's vital. All right. And
it's so important.
It's when you stop doing that is when everyone starts to notice just how big of an issue that it is. So I understand that.
Well, it hurt me. It hurt me when they stopped feeling like I could block in there. Then it takes that element of surprise out of it. And now when I'm in there, I'm either running the football or doing a free release or a choice route. But nothing of like, hey, I can sit in there and block. I can be in there the whole entire game so that the defense gets tired and that they start to fall asleep because you're in there long enough. And so now you can break a couple long ones off. And I think that's what hurt me at the end there is they stopped letting me block.
Sure. Well, I'll ask a question about Javonte. Like, what does he do well right now as a running back?
Other than blocking?
Other than blocking as a running back. And again, that's why I prefaced, because I understand. I want to acknowledge just how important run blocking is or pass blocking is. But I cannot point to an NFL attribute with Javonte Williams right now. And it feels like every 4 weeks he runs for 59 yards and we're like, Javante's back. Old Javante's back.
Guess who's back?
And it's
back again.
And then you don't see him again for a month. And I just, it's
inconsistency.
Not, yeah, and I'm just trying to imagine you through the eyes of Jaleel.
Oh, if I'm Jaleel, I'm upset.
It's like, how long are you going to roll this out there? It doesn't make sense for the team anymore.
First off, this was the first time Jaleel got 14 carries.
Correct.
And the first thing I said was, hey, give Jaleel more than 10 carries. Give him 12, 14, 15. Let's see what he does when he's in the game long enough to break something. Jaleel, by the way, almost broke a couple big-time runs. If he can just stay up, right?
Phil,
stay up.
And that's the difference between he and you, and I'm not trying to prop you up here on a Tuesday for no reason.
I'm blushing.
And I'm certainly not trying to push him down because he was fantastic
last
night.
On, though.
But, Phil, his contact balance, when he gets hit, he goes down. And that's the difference because he hits the hole similar to the way you did.
Now.
But you were able to break long runs, and it feels like, man, if you get a finger on him, he's got a little Noah Fant in him.
Well, that's for him in the offseason to go back. Don't get heavier, Jaleel. Don't get heavier. Be who you are. I think the mistake I made was, I need to be bigger. No. Be who you are. Just get stronger. Work on the balance. Get stronger. There's ways to do that. Work on the core. It will help out. But don't get bigger, Jaleel. But for Jaleel, it's just about, hey, man, it's my time. I can catch. I can block if you let me. Because you don't always have to stay up and block a big linebacker. You can cut him.
Sure.
All right? And I can run, and I can run hard. And we finally got to see it yesterday on Monday night. Jaleel went for 84 yards. If you give Jaleel 2 more carries, he probably goes for 100.
Yeah.
You have your first 100-yard rusher in a long time.
Since Latavius Murray. I mean, look. We sort of refer to 4 yards a carry, kind of like as like that's where you want to be. I'll say it's like the line of demarcation. If you're 4 yards a carry or over, you know you're having some success. If you're under 4 yards a carry, you need to improve. But if you're averaging like in the 2 yards a carry range, like you can't. It's not sustainable. In baseball, they call it the Mendoza line. You got to hit 200 or higher. You hit below that, you're going to be in the minors pretty quickly. Jaleel yesterday averaged 6 yards a carry. But look at him against the Raiders the week before. Just 7 carries, but for 44 yards. That's over 6 yards a carry. The week before that, the Falcons, he had got only 4 carries, but 19 yards. That's 4.8 yards a carry. He got just 2 against the Chiefs. But he went for 12 yards. That's 6 yards a carry. I just don't know how you can, and it's not perfect because a lot of times guys are on him in the backfield. He's not a perfect player, but he is the player that has commanded more opportunity more than anyone else.
What did you say about me, Zach, where you're like, hey, the more times I get going, the more carries I get, at some point I'm going to break.
I used to call you a jar of pickles, where initially when you try to open it, you might not be able to, but you keep twisting on it, put some pressure on it, eventually pop.
That's the exact same thing with Jaleel. Because of that explosiveness, because Jaleel is willing to run hard, he's going to break a couple at some points. Like he will break a couple tackles and be gone for a 50, 60-yard touchdown because he has the speed to do it. He has the power to do it. But he needs more opportunities. Sean needs to stick with the run game a little bit more than what he has been doing. And even the Monday night game, like I said, there was opportunities for Sean to continue to still run the football, and he did not do that. Shame on Sean, because in the playoffs, you have to run the ball.
Did you think the Broncos were going to lose when the Browns had the ball on that final drive? But not the final drive, but before the Jaquan McMillan interception, pick 6. Couldn't believe he was untouched and got back up and ran it to the crib.
Crazy.
Insane.
J-Mac.
Insane. Did you think the Broncos were going to lose at that point?
You know, I wasn't never worried throughout the game because Jameis was going to do what Jameis does best. He was going to force a throw. And honestly, if you were watching that game closely, there was a couple passes that even the broadcasters were saying, I don't know if I'm making that throw. It was a risky throw.
Yep.
And I think that he risked another throw. And I mean, Jameis Winston, risked another throw by throwing a risky pass. And J-Mac was able to catch wind of like what Jameis was doing, jumped the route or jumped the ball, and got an interception because of it. I thought that there was going to be an interception at some point because Jameis Winston does not care. He's going to be gutsy. He's going to find ways to try to get his receivers involved. That's who he is. He does not sit there and hold on to the ball. He's going to just hope to God, because you know he likes to pray, that something works out for him.
Well, now he's asking God for deliverance from pick sixes. So I'm not sure that prayer is going to get answered. Not doubting God's capabilities, but that's a tall task for Jameis there. And you really did get the full Jameis experience, didn't you? Because when that guy is on, I mean, there's a reason that he was the number 1 pick in the draft. And he's very, very talented. He is, man. And I remember his first ever game at Florida State. I remember where I was watching it in Albany. He threw 5 touchdown passes against Pitt. And I'm like, this is going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. He was so hyped. He was 5-star. And he was the number 1 pick, obviously. But he is the ultimate, like when you think of the phrase gunslinger to a harmful degree, that's him. That's him. But without the
high risk, high reward. That's my man Jameis.
Yeah. And that's like, I think of like Brett Favre when I think of gunslinger. But I think Brett Favre has the most interceptions in NFL history. And Jameis, he is such an interesting cat. Who do you think had the better pick six? Nick Bonito?
I'm gonna have to go with Nick Bonito. I mean, he's a pass rusher. All right. He was covering a tight end man to man. Found a way to catch the ball and then take it 71 yards to the house.
That was incredible.
The speed. Do you think you're faster than Nick Bonito?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
My man Nick Bonito is like 6'3", 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Running at 4.5. Right? Got an interception, took it to the house. Like, it has to be the Nick Bonito interception. What you thinking?
I agree. It's just rare to see it, but you see what type of athlete he is in that open space and not contained to that, 15 by 15 box he kind of plays in. I'm just so impressed with Nick Bonito. He is giving off NFL star vibes.
I like it.
He really is, man. And you see him talking about him last night on SportsCenter. They even I think they had him on. I think they had Nick Bonito on the set there with Scott Van Pelt after the game. And then an hour ago, he's on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
So the name Nick Bonito.
My man's making rounds.
He is. But that's just great for him because coming into this year, unless you were a big Bronco fan or you're Oklahoma Sooner fan, where he played from 2018 through
Boomer Sooner
2021, you probably don't know the name Nick Bonito. But he's giving everyone a reason to not only get to know his name, now you have to know his name. If you're a hardcore NFL fan, you're out of the loop if you don't know the name Nick Bonito.
Well, do you think Nick Bonito should be up for Defensive Player of the Year?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
I just don't. I'd want to see more. I don't look at him like in that category. Look, he should be in the conversation, but like when I think of like the TJ Watts. Like, I think of, like, T.J. Watt when he doesn't play in a game, the Steelers.
Oh, but how can we not say that about Nick Bonito right now, Zach? Because every time Nick Bonito steps foot on that field, something magical happens. Whether it's a sack, a forced fumble, an interception. He's doing everything. I mean, my man has 19 QB hits, 13 tackle for losses, 11 sacks. That's second in the NFL. All right. 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception that he took to the house for 71 yards. But yet, he can't be, and you said he could be in the conversation, but you don't think he can win it if he continues to go on this pace?
Oh, man.
We just looked at
I like it.
Garrett.
I like it.
We just looked at
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. What did he do?
Dude, how about the Browns 0 sacks on Bo? 0 sacks.
My man Bowles had him shook.
Bowles has won that matchup again because he dominated him the last time.
Yeah, I told you that when things go wrong for Myles Garrett or you start to chip him, you bang him up a little bit, he goes quiet like a little mouse. Big boy.
Whoa.
I used to call him that. If he's sitting right here, I'm going to call him a mouse. But you got to take the helmet away because you know he'll try to hit you with it.
Yes, ask Mason Rudolph.
He'll try to hit you with it.
Oh, my gosh. I look, if Bonito keeps this up, yeah, and maybe my initial reaction is no because this is the first season that we've seen it like this. But that's all you need to do to win the Defensive Player of the Year is just dominate that season.
It's about now. It's about 1 year.
I just think of T.J. Watt. Of like, okay, he has 9.5 sacks instead of 11.
Zach.
But more quarterback hits, tackles for loss, and 5 forced fumbles. That's insane. 5 forced fumbles.
It is. But that's expected for T.J. Watt now. T.J. Watt has won the award many times, multiple times. That is just who he is. I'm talking about. All right. Okay, I'll give you an example. Josh Allen. Josh Allen might win the MVP
quarterback?
this year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right? The
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah,
He might
yeah.
win the MVP this year.
He's favored to do it right now.
Favored to do it. He's doing well. Lamar is right there with him.
Can't believe he's having success without Stephon Diggs. I just have to say,
Oh,
it's truly
you
a
couldn't wait to
miracle.
say that.
It's a Christmas miracle. It really is. He's a Stephon Diggs creation. It's a Christmas miracle.
Relax.
Thank you. Sorry.
All right. By the end of this, right? If we're neck and neck, if Lamar, I can't call him MV3 right now, right? Because he might not win it. But if they're neck and neck, they might give it to Josh Allen because this is his first time doing it. His first time having, I'm not going to say the success, but like being able to maintain what he's doing. And so I wouldn't be mad if Josh Allen got it because of what he's doing this year with that team. He's already clinched the playoffs. He's clinched the division.
Yeah.
He's doing some insane stuff. So for someone like Nick Bonito, right, it's about what's going on right now. And the Denver Broncos are winning.
Sure.
They have a chance to go to the playoffs.
I like it.
Chance.
I like it. Making a good argument, but he's making the argument for you on the field.
Yeah.
He is playing with his pants on fire, man. And Sean Payton said something 5-6 weeks ago. He said, young and hungry can be dangerous. And this football team is full of young and hungry players like Nick Bonito. And you talk about maximizing your moment, man. Holy mackerel. Bonito, what do you say? He's in the backfield every single week.
Defensive Player of the Year. That's what we say.
He's going to be in the conversation. Phil,
And he will be.
No, you're right. You know what? I think I have to. I have to adjust my thinking.
Please do.
I have to adjust my thinking.
Please do. You're like TJ Watt.
Because hey, boy, just settle down. Settle down. There's a reason that he's won those
TJ
awards.
Watt. No, that man's a bad dude.
The record, the Steelers' record when he plays and when he doesn't play, it looks like Val Nichushkin with the Avs. I'm serious. He moves the line like 2.5 points to a degree.
Hey,
no one else does that.
TJ is the man.
He's a freak.
He's a freak. Max Crosby
Yep.
is the man. Okay? My man Garrett, okay, Myles Garrett, he's the man. The thing about Myles Garrett, and I say it again, and I don't not like Myles Garrett because man, that man's huge,
Yeah.
right?
You just
But
disrespect
he's
him
quiet.
on the radio.
You know what? If I see them on the football field, I would do the same thing. Now, when I go back, I'm like, hey, guys, you're going to have to protect me.
Hey, and this is one of those things for Bowles, and Bowles had a couple, frustrating moments last night.
He did. He did.
He took a run away from Jaleel again, which I'm pretty sure he's done this 2 or 3 times to Jaleel specifically, where it's like there's like an 18-yard run, it comes back, the phrase that's going to be in your dreams for the next 50 years, holding 72.
And that would have got Jaleel his 100 yards.
Correct. Oh, good call.
Man.
Good call. But he also had another legal procedure or something. He did something else too. But take that away and like the down by down substance. Bowles won that matchup against Myles Garrett again.
He did. Now I will say this because I was gonna wait for the segment with Bo Nix and like how he did, but one of Bo's interceptions, I'm gonna have to blame Garrett Bowles for it.
Because Myles Garrett was barreling down on the one to Troy Franklin.
On the one to Troy Franklin. And then, right, it was a great read. I went back and watched it. It was a great read. The corner did a great job of getting his hand in there.
Yeah.
Batting the ball up. And when you have tips
and overthrows, you got to get
picks.
those right. But the way that his hand, it was such a low throw. It almost seemed like what did he say? Like physically and like the physics of it.
Yes.
That ball should not have gone straight into the air, like defied physics.
No, and Bo did a great job. He hit it low to try to protect the receiver, and it just happened. And so it's going to happen. I can't give Bo the knock on that interception. Now the other one we could talk about, that's on Bo.
Yeah.
But the first one, that was just a great play. Myles Garrett getting some pressure.
Yeah.
All right, making his presence known, and then the cornerback getting that tip in the air. It's just a good play.
Yeah. Nick Bonito. Phil, you're right. Nick Bonito,
He's balling,
he
man.
deserves to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He does. He's second in the league in sacks by a half sack to Trey Hendrickson there in Cincinnati. But
he's not going to slow down either. The momentum is real.
now I will say this just for clarity and transparency. Bonito's played in an extra game because the Broncos have the latest bye week in the NFL, so that deserves to be just thrown in there. But
Well, who's number one?
in sacks?
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson.
Okay, so
From-
Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah,
Where's
from Cincinnati.
TJ's
TJ is top 10 in the league. He's a sack and a half behind Bonito. He's got 9.5 sacks in 12 games. Benito has 11 in 13 games.
And all it takes is for you to have a really good game, right? 2 sacks, and you could be leading, or you can be winning it by a lot more than what you are. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's the forced fumbles too. TJ's leading the NFL in 4. He's got 5. No one else even has